Let's take the cranial mesenteric artery now. Here you can see where the cranial mesenteric arises from the aorta. Notice how close that cranial mesenteric is to the celiac. So celiac and then cranial mesenteric. In order to find the branches of the cranial mesenteric, we're going to have to push this over and look within the root of the mesentery. So, in a second, we're going to roll this dog just a bit.
Roll over.
Huh?
Dog.
What?
Roll over. Roll over.
Oh, roll dog. Stop it. Oh my goodness. All right. The weight is on it. Okay. Okay. So here we can see the cranial mesenteric artery and numerous branches coming to the jejunum. So all of these little jejunal branches come all the way through the jejunum, and notice that they have that arcading pattern to them. So bunches and bunches of jejunal branches. If we lay our colon where it's supposed to be, as such, we now can see from that cranial mesenteric there is this big branch that comes off, and that is referred to as the iliocolic. If we look at the way that the colon lays out, anything that comes to the left colic flexure is a middle colic artery. The iliocolic then continues, gives rise to a right colic coming to the right colic flexure, continues as iliocolic. This dog actually has a very acceptable colic branch of the iliocolic. From there, we give off cecal branches that come over both sides to supply the cecum. This will then continue as the mesenteric ileal, which will eventually join in with a jejunal artery. And that cecal branch coming around the backside will give rise to the anti-mesenteric ileal artery. So those are the major, we have one left to go, but those are the major branches supplying the colon. So let's just lay this right back out for a second and remember that our transverse colon is cranial to this root. If we're coming to the left colic flexure, it's middle colic, right colic flexure, right colic. All of this is transverse colon. The other branch coming from cranial mesenteric is called the caudal pancreaticoduodenal. And as you recall, the descending duodenum is on the right side with the right lobe of the pancreas. We already talked about the cranial pancreaticoduodenal, and now we have its friend, the caudal pancreaticoduodenal, which will meet up with it to supply the descending duodenum as well as the right lobe of the pancreas. Let's talk about the last portion.
One job.
What happened?
She started calling SOS.
So, all right, so we had, let's remind ourselves. Sorry. We had celiac, cranial mesenteric, and here is our caudal mesenteric artery. Caudal mesenteric artery is the simplest of the three. It comes up, goes north, and that makes the left colic, this is not left colic up here, that's middle. This is left colic. and cranial rectal goes south, headed toward the rectum. So, colomesenteric, left colic, north, cranial rectal, south. So that blood supply to the descending colon can arise from either middle colic or the left colic artery.
Now I know where there's always laughing in these videos. I've never seen you record one before.
I'm being jugular punched.
Okay, so those are our three unpaired arteries in the abdomen. There are a number of paired arteries in the abdomen too. We have talked about a few of those. That would be our abdominal artery. Clearly, we have two kidneys, so we'll have a renal artery on the right and left. If it is a boy, we have a testicular arteries will come off. In this case, it is a female. So here is her ovarian artery. Little caudally farther, there's our caudal mesenteric, and then our caudals, our deep circumflex iliac. Where did we go? Where did you go? Oh, there you were, somewhere in there. There's our deep circumflex iliac. There are also a number of lumbar branches that come off dorsally from the aorta, which you'd have to really pull it up to be able to identify those. Very quickly, let me just take 2 seconds to talk about venous supply. There are veins that accompany each of these arteries that we've talked about. Any of the unpaired arteries, the venous return from them that drain the GI tract are going to go through the portal vein on their way to the liver. And this is a beautiful example of the portal vein, again, in this whole route of the mesentery. So everything supplied by celiac, cranial mesenteric, or caudal mesenteric, its venous blood goes portal first to liver, detoxified liver veins go into caudal vena cava, which is nice clean blood. Any of the abdominal wall, pelvic cavity, kidneys, pelvic limb that are supplied by paired arteries are going to go back through caudal vena cava. And here you can see the two very close together. Nice caudal vena cava, nice portal vein or hepatic portal vein. If I stick my finger between the portal vein and the caudal vena cava, I'm in the epiploic foramen. So this is a really, stick the probe in there since right there is where the epiploic foramen lives. Okay. That concludes our tour of the GI and contents in our blood supply.